Oh, good, it's covered. Okay, so before I go into the instructions for the roundtable, and since Andrew is still here, and I kind of teased you with the story earlier, I do have to tell the Scot in the boot story. So we were at the first Leadership Academy in Lexington, Kentucky. I flew into Louisville, and all they had left at the rental car counter were minivans. In fact, I kind of laughed. I said, all we have left is a minivan. No, really, all we have left are minivans. So I drove to Lexington, Kentucky with this minivan, and apparently there was some big sporting event going on that weekend. And so the place was mobbed, and every hotel was packed, and every taxi was claimed. And so news got around pretty quickly that Alice has a minivan. And so one day we went out to dinner, and it's like, oh, well, how are we getting a cab? That's okay, I have a minivan. Next day, somebody says, oh, I can't get from one hotel to the other. Was that you, Deb?
I think so.
I think it was Deb Dale. And, oh, we can't get from one hotel to another. I said, that's okay, I have a minivan. Next morning, Lori Gustor from the AFP staff comes up to me and says, Alice, we understand you have a minivan. Yes, in fact, I do. Well, we have all these people going to Jay Fry's quote-unquote demotion dinner for vice chair of membership, and we need to get all of these people to this restaurant, and we have no way to get them there. Can we use your minivan? Well, how many people are we talking? We think 11. It's like, well, it's going to be a little tight, but I think we can all fit. And so Lori sits on the floor, we're all crammed into this minivan, and we all have a lovely dinner, and then when we're coming back out, one of our colleagues from New Mexico decides, you know, there's no way Lori's going to sit on the floor, so I'm going to sit in the trunk. And so she lifts the hatch, and she's on the board at the time, and she lifts the hatch, and Andrew sweeps in and takes her hand and says, there is no way that an AFP board member is going to be in the trunk on my watch. And he helps her out of the trunk, and then climbs into the trunk himself. And everyone's screaming as we're driving down the street, Alice, don't back into anything, you're gonna kill Andrew! And I'm happy to say that Andrew did actually survive riding in the trunk of my minivan. And in fact, when we all tumbled out of the car, it just so happens that at that time, the president and CEO, and the chair of the board, and I believe maybe Colette even as the past chair, I don't remember who else was there, but all of these executive leaders of AFP come out of the car in front of us. And I pull up to the hotel, and every door opens, and every AFP person possible tumbles out of this minivan. So Andrew still survived that and made it to the position of president and CEO, so there you go. It does not hurt to ride in my trunk. Any rebuttal, Andrew?
It's very comfortable.
So.